Peatlands are very important ecosystems. Keeping them healthy is a high priority for the Snowdonia Society. Our volunteers get involved through the removal of non-native conifers and by blocking ditches to re-wet and restore the good health of these peatlands.
We're standing on a peatland here just outside Rhyddhau. Peatlands are where you find peat, so this is a really dark soil you often find in garden compost. And it's where you get specialised mosses and plants growing, and they're really waterlogged, so they've got rainwater or groundwater flowing into them. And because they're waterlogged, these plants only partially degrade when they die, and you get this peat forming over thousands of years, and it can be several metres thick. Peatlands provide quite a lot of different benefits. The one that people have probably heard of most nowadays is the carbon benefit. Because they are made of partially decomposed plants, they store lots and lots of carbon, way more than all the forest in the world combined. They're also quite good in climate regulation, so when they're in good condition, they can take in greenhouse gases. When they're in bad condition, that's another matter. They act as water stores. 70% of the UK's water source comes from upland peatland areas, and they can filter it through, which saves water companies a lot of money. Because they're also storing this water, they can provide a buffer when there's droughts or when there's big floods. They are unique habitats for quite a lot of amazing plants and also birds. So they're home to carnivorous plant, the sundew. And they're also really important habitats for birds of European importance, like the hen harrier, the red kite, the curlew and the merlin. And one thing we often forget is they're quite good history stores. Because they are really static environments, they don't decompose plant material or any organic material. If we take a core, we've got a really nice historical record of the past environment. And sometimes we can find some really quite amazing Iron Age treasures that have been really well preserved, like the Moel Shabod shield. Peatlands cover only about 12% of Snowdonia National Park's land surface, but they hold over 50% of the soil carbon in Snowdonia, which is quite a lot. Snowdonia holds 30% of Wales's peatlands, and the UK itself holds about 13% of Europe's peatlands. So globally, peatlands only cover 3% of the land surface, and yet they store twice as much carbon as all of the world's forests put together. So it's only in recent decades we've realised how awesome peatlands are. Before that, people kind of thought they were a bit of wasteland, that perhaps they could maybe get more animals on there, more sheep grazing, and they wanted to drain them to get different grasses growing. Before that, people used to come and cut peat to burn. It was a nice cheap fuel. So 75% of the UK peatlands are in a damaged state because they've been drained, they've been burnt, they've been cut, they've had trees planted on them. In some places in the UK, there's even been a lot of industrial pollution, so the soil is really, really acidic and it hasn't recovered. So this is where we come in. We're now trying to restore these peatlands. Peatlands want to be squishy and wet and squelchy. Those waterlogged conditions mean that all of that carbon's been locked in. We haven't got oxygen in the environment. All these ditches and all this erosion that's been going on over the last couple of hundred years means that oxygen's come in and it started to break down all this partially decomposed plant matter. And there's a big emission of carbon dioxide coming off these peatlands, and it's really, really significant. So what we're trying to do is put a cap on those greenhouse gases being emitted from peatlands.